If you were to go around and ask people what the most important game on the Sega Dreamcast was, you'll pretty much get 3 answers. Phantasy Star Online, Sonic Adventure, and Shenmue. In actuality, at Sega there was one game that was of critical importance, and that game, of course, was ChuChu Rocket. You see, the chairman of Sega made a decree that internet gaming was the future, and Sega needed to be on top of this. Everybody at Sega needed to get on the train, learn how to program for internet gaming, know how to handle latency, know all the design patterns for this, and so forth. The problem was, nobody at Sega had done this before. This was new for everybody there. Unlike today, where you can just Google and get all the Stack Overflow answers, or just look on YouTube and find somebody who's programmed the same exact thing that you are looking for, that's not how it was done in the 90s. In the 90s, if you were planning to implement something, it was common to go over white papers, research papers, dig through a library, and so forth to figure out what the hell you were even doing. Or in a lot of cases, another way to figure out how to do things was to just do it. This is why you had so many Doom clones and other FPS games that were just really not good, and also fighting games was another one. It was pretty much whatever was big in the industry, you as a developer would pretty much just clone it to figure out how it was done. With ChuChu Rocket became the learning project at Sega. Yuji Naka went on to say that without ChuChu Rocket, we would not have Phantasy Star Online because ChuChu Rocket taught Sonic Team how to code online games. ChuChu Rocket was actually a test on how to handle latency, how to handle packet errors, how to handle everything. And if you look at it from that perspective, you really see a new light on ChuChu Rocket. Think about it. You have thousands of mice running around real time as you and other cursors are all at the same time placing things that influence these thousands of mice that are running around. While there's AI cats going around and attacking them, you are changing the game board and influencing everything, and then spaceships are flying off. This is a tech demo. This is a latency tech demo. This is an online tech demo where you as players are giving Sega the research needed so that they could understand just what the latency is with their infrastructure, just how strict they have to be with packets and so forth. This is what ChuChu Rocket was developed as, and when you look at that from that perspective, it's actually a fantastic little game. While developing ChuChu Rocket, of course they had to develop libraries and toolkits and APIs and so forth to develop all the networking tools that were needed for this. These tools would go on to be used in all of the other Sonic Team games or Sega games. Sonic Team made this tiny weird tech demo, and this little tiny weird tech demo went on to influence the entire development teams all at Sega. Yes, Sonic Team, a team of like 150 people, developed this tiny cutesy puzzle weird game that went on to help out all the developers at Sega and everybody else developing internet games for the Sega Dreamcast. This type of development is common. You saw it with also Square Enix with the Bouncer. While they had a primary team working on Final Fantasy X, they also had another team working on the Bouncer. And that whole reason was because the PlayStation 2 was so hard to work on for Square that they had to do something else while another team was struggling learning the hardware. So they came up with the Bouncer as just something they could do to sort of get an idea out there and kind of work with it. With ChuChu Rocket, they needed to figure out how online gaming worked. So they got Sonic Team, put them together, said, come up with a simple game where you test the latency, you test packet loss, you test all of these things, and you do it, and we build up a solid framework from that. So when you think of the most important games in Sega's history, the Dreamcast history, ChuChu Rocket deserves a place on there, because without it, we would not have a foundation on which Sega went on to build the great Phantasy Star Online. So be sure to hit that subscription button, hit that follow button, hit that like button, hit whatever it is, and I will catch you guys later where we will talk more about some classic games and some upcoming games and games of all ages and games of all sizes. All right, later.